Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Sorry about the lateness. I'm going to blame Solo.
Don't worry, lateness is greatness, as they say. So you're all right, mate.
Here you go. See? So we've got the two great ones in the house on the Friday. We have TalkMU, my sidekick, as usual.
Yeah, big up.
And we've got, by popular demand after last week's performance, we've got Ivorian Spice in the house. Ivorian Spice in the house.
Yes. Big ups, everyone. Those who are tuning as well. Make sure you smash a like button as well. Make sure you subscribe as well, because we're about to be a kicking with this show as well.
This is the Friday night takeaway. It's Friday night. You know the deal. You don't have to be here, but you are. So we appreciate it. Let's get the show on the road. Couple of things. Obviously, our right back situation seems to be like all Man United transfers, and still they're through the door. We seem to be linked with more and more players. I think on the last count we were on 765 just for this bloody January transfer window. We've been linked with Tariq Lamptey.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I do like him. I didn't think he was somebody that we would be interested in, but the more I look at his stats, the more you watch a couple of games and stuff. I'm going to think, what, he could probably do a pretty good job for us. I'm not sure about the price, 40 million, but Man United tax is something that we have to deal with. Newcastle's tax now after this season is going to be a lot higher than ours, so it's something that we've had to live with, and something that I suppose is never going to go away. Talk. Opinions on Tariq Lamptey. Do you think he'll do a job? I'll get your opinion before I run for a couple of things. We'll have Ivorian Spice having a little chat afterwards.
I mean, look, like you say, he looks like a decent player. His stats all seasons for Brighton: 32 appearances, 1 goal, 3 assists. Read into that what you will. But watching him like physically, his attributes. Yeah, he's got a lot of positives. There's no two ways about that. You know what I mean? He's got an awful lot of positives. One being he doesn't take risks. He's very aggressive. He's very tenacious as well, which is great, which you need. He can score goals, as we know, as we just said. He's quick, clever. He's clever on the ball. He can see a pass as well. Draws defenders out, which is something that we always say that. With for example, Aaron Bissaka, get over there, draw defenders out, and use the space that's being provided to you. And make them make a decision so that somebody can come in and help you out, and you can create an underlap, whatever you want to do. I mean, in terms of the price for this kid, he's 21. The only doubt I've got with him is he's got a bit of if you go walk, he's got a heavy touch. He's got a really heavy touch.
Ooh,
and he always seems to be having to chase the ball once he's touched it. He kind of gets away from it a little bit, and he inevitably ends up getting fouled or tripping up or going over. You know what I mean? So that's something I'm sure could be worked on, with good coaching and everything else. Because, like I said, the rest of his assets are, pretty decent.
Ivorian.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because, of course, Lamptey's still a player that's still developing, still raw. We've been linked to him for 40 million, which, in my personal opinion, I think is a bit too much anyway. How I rate him, I just see him as a talent. Of course, everyone's been raving about I got his first name wrong. Sorry. What was his first name?
Tariq.
Tariq Lamptey. Yes,
Yeah.
Tariq Lamptey. Everyone been revving about Tariq Lamptey, how good he is ever since he's graced Brighton, after leaving Chelsea, which I big him up for, leaving Chelsea and going into Brighton to get first team football. People have been talking about how good he is in the next section, right? But sometimes I feel like I get the feeling of this is the kind of Aaron Wan-Bissaka feeling the kind of Wan-Bissaka story that we was getting. We're not seeing what we want right now as a Manchester United fan for our players right now. We need a right back that's actually good, that can deliver right now, because we don't have time to develop players right now by youngsters. We were in a situation where we need a right back out of quality that can cross, defend, and also go forward. Like, we can do better than this, in my opinion. Yes, he's a great talent, and all that stuff. And that maybe I can trust, and I wouldn't reject it if it was to happen. I will support him. I'll be happy. But still, to me, it's just not good enough. Like, Lamptey is a talent, but what we need is not Tariq Lamptey. But why do I keep saying Cal Lamptey? I'm so sorry, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Makes sense.
We know what you
It
mean.
just makes sense. But yes, Tariq Lamptey, excellent opportunity for him to come to Manchester United. Good potential as well. But overall, it's not what we need. We need a top player. We need a top player right back that's ready for it. That's up there already. Can cross again, can dribble as well, can also pass and cross and go forward and defend. We just need the complete package right now. We ain't got time to develop a right back. Do we? Mr. B, do we have time?
Okay, look. I'm gonna say a couple of things and then I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's have it.
Obviously, he joined Brighton for $3.5 million from Chelsea in 2019. He's had his injury. He missed 34 games with his hamstring injury. That's a total of 269 days he missed with his hamstring injury, and they thought it was going to be a short-term injury. He's come back with a bang. This season, he's created 10 chances in 12 games. So his chance creation for a right back is 1.3 chances per game. That's actually not too far different from Dalot and Wan-Bissaka. Where he does excel is his touches in the opposition box. Most games he's getting 3 touches in the opposition box. Not bad for a right back. Wan-Bissaka, just over 1. Dalot, just over 2. So I suppose, again, it would depend on what we're looking like. Defensively, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 54.5% duels won. Lamptey second with 50%. Dalot with 47.5%. Again, it probably depends what we look like. Depends what we're looking for as a club. Completed dribbles in the 90 minutes. Lamptey's winning that by a mile. So again, it depends what we look for. But this is my reasoning why I'm feeling Tariq Lamptey. He used to play for Larkspur Rovers, 2006 to 2008. I actually know the guys who run the club. I didn't know them in 2008. I'll be honest, but since about 2010, probably, we've had a connection between our 2 amateur football clubs. So there's my bias into why I wouldn't mind.
You're bringing sentiment feelings to this.
Well,
we're doing the United thing right now. The sentiment and the family in these situations, and then you wait for the job.
It may well be, but we're screaming out for something else at the moment. This is a normal Manchester United transfer window where I'm beginning to believe, rightly or wrongly, that I don't think we're going to sign anybody. And it's making me feel
nervous.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's the word. I'm not sure. I don't want to be embarrassed by the transfer window. I don't want the club to embarrass us as a base during the transfer window. But Man United always seem to do things so slowly. You look at you look at Newcastle. Newcastle have bought 2 players and they're in the hunt for 3. And they've got no experience of that kind of market. Talk to me.
I know what you're saying, Mr. With Newcastle. I mean, they're in a moment now where they can afford to take some risks and a few punts, shall we say? You know what I mean? And actually, really, they have to do that in a realistic, in the footballing setup that they're in right now. They have to do that. They have to, take these risks and punts and blah blah blah. But they already have come out and said there's no blank checkbook, which is quite funny, really, because there is. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, look, in terms of this situation for us at United and the Lamptey links, I don't know. I have to agree with Ivorian Spice that it just seems a little bit too similar, to Wan-Bissaka and Dalot. I think you can take aspects of both of their games and put them onto Lamptey's list of attributes and vice versa. So are we really going anywhere there? We're going, in my opinion, we would be going probably sideways on a right back there, and that's not exactly like Spice says. We don't want to be doing that. As a club, we need to be going far forward, And in terms of signings for the January window, look, maybe Ralph knows that he's going to get the job full time. He's had that window of opportunity to make a huge impression. It ain't worked. He ain't getting the job full time. So maybe he might have advised the club that, look, no, we'll send a few out on loan, but with what we've got right here, right now, we can still, do well. Don't sign anybody yet, because if you've got your eye on X, Y, and Z, whoever that be, if he's got a voice on that, we're all sort of looking at it and thinking maybe it's going to be Ten Hag. Maybe. But so maybe you're saying, look, don't bother not wasting money, but don't go bother spending money right now. Just hold it back till the summertime.
You know what? Let me add, can I add to that? Because regarding the Cal Lamptey situation and what we spoke about last week, of course, us, whenever we see a young English talent, we go all crazy. We start licking our lips. We all find each other, snatch each other's hands, say, "Oh no, he's that," and all that. Let Cal Lamptey have at least 3 or 4 seasons, because I feel like his next move could be an Everton or it could be an Aston Villa. Because right now he's at Brighton, and Brighton are always looking for just to survive in the Premier League and avoid relegation. I want to see him go into a team like Everton, maybe a Tottenham, maybe an Arsenal, where he can play the Europa Conference League or Europa League football, just to see how much he's developed. Then when he's ready to make that move to the big clubs, then let him develop first of all. We can't just go for him. I don't think he's there yet for the move to the big club. It's a huge ask as well. And talent-wise, he's good, but in my opinion, I've seen better.
Okay, so is it a price issue? If it was 20 million, would there be takers for you two, or is it strictly
you know what? I think 40 million is quite reasonable because he's young and it's the potential that they invested into. So I don't think it's a daylight robbery compared to Maguire's accusations, and then you got the Wan-Bissaka as well. I don't think so, because of course I feel like he's even better than Wan-Bissaka. So I think it would be value for money, in my opinion. What about you?
Sorry, I was just looking at the comments there. Sorry, what did you say?
You got distracted. Sorry.
We're talking about the value for money.
Oh yeah, value for money. Look, again, 40 million seems not a lot of money in this climate now, and with the figures that get bandied about in football. But again, we spent 40 million on Donny van de Beek. He's not quite worked out for him, has it? And for me, I mean, look, if you're going to spend 40, you might as well go and spend 60. And get somebody, that is, I mean, there's a name there that's been mentioned, actually. Let me just quickly pop that up there. Ricardo Pereira at Leicester from Bath Time. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, to be fair, so I'm not going to comment on him. But if any of you two know anything about this chap, would he be a target you'd think you'd like to see?
I'll be honest, again, Bath Time, as usual, has caught me.
Yeah, he does that, though.
Yeah,
he does. He catches us cold.
Yeah, he comes up with these one. Talk to us. Bath time. Pereira. His advantages, disadvantages.
You see here, our own OMONDI is saying here, I agree with
Right.
that time. Ricardo is a better fit than Sean Wright Lamptey. What?
So what would the money be? Sean Wright Lamptey is so funny. So what would the money be for a Pereira? I mean, we're looking at. I understand we're Man United and we should be able to go out there and buy it, but the club, aren't going to do that. So the way that you're talking, are we looking at a Lamptey as a no-go then?
Depends. Like, in my opinion, it depends on the type of team that you're trying to build right now. Because Manchester United, throughout the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, were just buying players that were good, but never thought about how to fit them in the team. They were never building a team and a squad to play in a certain way. They were just buying Galacticos and thinking that they can just throw these 11 in and win. So it depends on exactly what, if Carl, I mean, again, I did it again, right? Tariq Lamptey, if Tariq Lamptey fits in the system that Ralph Ragnick has in place, and for the next manager as well, which I would like a Ten Hag, but yeah, everyone has their own opinion. If he fits into that system, then it makes sense for him to go for Tariq Lamptey. If he can press, if he's got the energy to go up and down, the way that Ralph Ragnick wants these players to exert themselves on the pitch, if he can do that, then yes, it makes sense. If he can't, it doesn't make sense, because again, we're just going to be signing players for the sake of signing it when I have players of all sorts of different type of qualities that just don't really fit a team. And I'm keen on Manchester United building a squad, building a team in the way that they want to play, and I want that right now, not just buying players because he's one of the best players in the world. Just throw him inside there. Do you know what I mean? He's the best talent. Let's just throw him inside there, see if it works.
I'm beginning to feel that I'm in the minority in this stream.
It looks like
today.
it, Mr. Beek.
No, you're sentimental. Like you've got the oily kind of feeling the whole Manchester United. Leah's friends, come here. I know you. I know your father. You're my godson. Come over.
It wasn't like that. In all fairness, I'll be honest. I didn't realize. I didn't even realize he had played for Larkspur until today. So it wasn't a bragging. Look, his voice has been out there. I have to give it to you guys. I want to give it to the people. The names coming in: Pereira. I saw somebody mentioning
Alphonso Davies. If you're going to use 60 million, get someone like Alphonso Davies.
Do you really think Bayern? We got. Who's the last person we got from? We got. What's his name?
Mr. B. When we buy from Bayern, we buy their broken players like Bastian Schweinsteiger and Owen Hargreaves, injury-prone players.
I can't remember the name. Those are the players that they're going to sell us. Sorry, if you are on the stream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to it, share it, hit that notification bell so you get alerts from when we're doing what we're doing. But yeah, sorry, going back to the right back, I cut you off, Ivorian.
No, you didn't. No.
Oh, I didn't. I did finish. Yeah. Sorry, man. I did wait for you to finish. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. Talk.
Yes, bro.
You're not having Lamptey, are you?
I'm not convinced. I mean, like I say, there's a lot of potential, but we aren't a potential club. We have our own youth academy for that. You know what I mean? And again, in terms of squad, if it's a purchase for squad depth and for to bring him on over a couple of seasons, happy days. If we're in a position where we are winning and doing well and not having to, look at that kind of angle. We need to be looking at it from an angle of we're doing well, we're winning, we're bringing the trophies home, got a settled squad, got a settled manager, got a settled board and directors of football and all kinds of madness going on. That's the right time to do that kind of action for me. But as it stands right now, there's so many problems at the club. It's like it's like a jigsaw puzzle that's messed around inside the box. It's still piece by piece needs putting together, and I think we're getting closer. We're getting closer, but again, I just want to bring us to the press conference from Ralph Rangnick. Some of the things that were stated in that, because I don't know if about you, but it seems it's. I mean, I don't know. There's some of it that was just a little bit kind of, for me. Some of the things he was saying.
Because that brings.
What's that? Sorry.
In what way? It
Just-
felt a bit kind of.
It's like he was talking about like he expected a winter break. He was talking about
No, I see. And
No. He
I
said
thought,
that. He said he didn't expect a winter break. He did say that he knows in England we play over the Christmas break, Christmas period, and there is no winter break. He's not surprised by that. But eventually the whole COVID situation happened, and the team did get a break.
But it sounded like to me what it said is that he expected. Because I'm listening, I'm thinking, wait a minute, you know there's no winter break. But anyway, that and also what he was saying about Donny van der Beek.
that brings us on. We'll touch on Donny just after the Ranić one, but I'll let you keep talking about Ranić. Sorry to cut you off, bro.
Yeah. So what else was there now? He said it's more about it's more about results. So he's talking about now. It's now about results. So you're thinking, okay, so as your mindset now shifting from the performance and now shifting towards just the result, you're now thinking, look, we've just got to do whatever we can to get a result. That's, you know what I mean? It seems a bit kind of, from everything that was said in the start, then now swinging to going through system changes before games, like starting with a different formation and changing the formation during a game. Now going, it's just all about the results. We need the points. It's kind of, it seems to me like he's maybe shifting his focus a little bit from, right, look, this is not going to be easy because of the time scales that are involved, because he knows he's not there after summer. So now he may be shifting his focus into actually just trying to make sure that we get the 3 points. So we may not see those improvements that we're all yearning for, I'm afraid.
Talk. Do you reckon he sees it as this? He just came in because we all call him the professor. The professor comes in and assess, and he probably realized he spoke positively at the start. It's about X, Y, and Z, and now things are showing. It's about focusing. He probably realized, oh shit, I got a lot of jobs. I got a lot of shit to do here, and it's not easy. Let's just focus on getting the win now. forget the performance. Let's get these guys ain't it. They ain't it.
Yeah. No. That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's quite clear that they've struggled somewhat in terms of, because when you listen to him speak about, in possession, out of possession, things that are required to be done. It's, I mean, you talk about a squad here with no confidence. That's the first issue. A lot of those players got no confidence whatsoever, flat on the floor. So this is why the guy was brought in, as we've said before, the psychologist and stuff. But I don't know. I think he's just now resigned to the fact that he's going upstairs at the end of the season, and he's now just going to focus on getting trouble, at least trying to get the results, and not focusing too much on maybe giving them too many instructions, in terms of individual responsibilities and that kind of thing. Maybe looking at it more of a just, setting them up in a shape and going, just go out there, work as a team together, just get the result. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting end to the season, shall we say?
Oh God! So what he did say also, it's not a surprise the standard of the Premier League in regards to what he thought it would be. What did surprise him was the physicality of the lower level the lower teams, and he said the organisation. He said in Bayern, they expect to win 8 out of 10 games against the lower level teams. Over here, you just never know what it's going to throw up. So I'm wondering now, is he had an opinion in his own head of what he wanted to do when he's come. Do you feel that the Premier League is harder than he thought, so he can't implement the style that he wants? Or do you think he feels the players do not have the technical nous or
there's no way. I know you're saying no. For me, there's no question in the players' technical abilities. We know that. Okay. There are some of them that do suffer in that department. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for example, right? Scott McTominay, for example, and Fred. Them three first spring to mind. But the rest of the squad, I would say, technical. They can do the job. It's just, you've got to look at again. This is a big picture that we have to look at. We cannot zoom in on little parts of it. have to look at the bigger picture. The club's gone from the club in the world, the club winning everything there is to win more than once, back-to-backs, doubles, trebles, all kinds of madness, to then now whoosh, bang, flat, nothing, apart from what Jose brought us, the Tin Pot Cup. So, and I said the other day about the longer we go without success, real success, actually bringing trophies home, that chasm gets deeper and deeper and more sort of steep. It's growing all the time at longer, and it's even more difficult to get your mindset right to overcome that obstacle, as well as any other obstacles that you may have in your life at this moment in time. That you're going through personal issues. There was talk with, I think it was Marcus, somebody was mentioning that he's maybe going through a bad spell in his personal life as well. Also, so there's loads of isms going on at the moment, for the team.
So we're saying, sorry, 1 second. So Marcus's lack of form is down to what? Lack of pom pom?
No.
The assessment that we've made.
No.
We can talk about that in a little bit.
No. There's more to it than that. There is a lot more to it than that. But again, there's no way Ralph can come in. There's no way he was going to ever come in. We've seen the first sort of knockings of what he was bringing to the party in that first game against Crystal Palace. It was like, ooh, yeah, this is it. That's more like it. But don't forget, if you look at how that worked out, the amount of time that he'd had before that game, he must have given very simple instructions. It's clear he gave simple instructions. That's all he had time to do. They went out, they did a job. It worked. Now, you go back and step back now, is the more time he's had giving more and more and more and more instructions, the puzzle has become more complicated. So the players are like going, I don't quite understand. You can't get that kind of style in that short space of time. It's impossible.
And you know what? I have to say, in my opinion, of course, in my opinion, to answer your question, Mr. B, I just don't feel like the players are good enough to play in that system. And it's not just that from his system. Previously, from what we've seen in the past, in the last 5-6 years, some of these players can't even make a simple 5-yard pass. They pass off the pitch. You've all seen that. Technically, they're not all that great. Yes, some of them are individuals are great at doing certain things. These players are not good enough to play in the system. And for a system to work, you need to have the profile of each player in certain positions, especially if you want to play this Gegenpress counter-attack. You need to have players who are good on the ball, who can maneuver, who's got agility as well, who can make five-yard passes and also long-range passes at the same time. And have the energy. And Manchester United don't have that profile of players. I said it earlier on before. We have a bunch of mismatched players to play in different systems. So when you see them leave and play elsewhere, you see them thrive because they're used to that system. That's them. And also they have the ability to perform in that system. What we want to play now, majority of these players don't have it. You see, again, players like McTominay, Scott McTominay and Fred, they're not the best in terms of dictating play, controlling the midfield, which you need a player like that that's very neat and tidy on the ball, that can make that 5-yard pass as well, and also make the long-range pass, and also has the awareness of his space and as well to cover and occupy certain positions. And they don't have that. And I understand if you're a great coach, you can help them improve it, but there's so much you can teach a player in your system. And if he still doesn't cut it, he'll never, ever, ever get it. The situation that Manchester United have now is the profile of players. And some of these players don't have the application as well. And some of these players, again, I'm going to say it one more time, they're not good enough. As much as we say they're good, they're not good enough. They can't do the simple things. There's a problem here.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, most definitely 100% agree because, I'm not picking on Scott McTominay, but just for example, if you watch, there's numerous times during matches where you see me receive the ball and there's passes on and he doesn't do it. You've got to take risks. I mean, that's one of Ferguson's, main statements. You have to take risks in order to win football games. You can't be forever looking for the safe option and trying to wait for something that may never materialize. Like the perfect opportunities. It doesn't exist. You have to create it. You have to, by being brave. If you're brave and you use the ball well, you will create these perfect opportunities. But they don't just appear in front of you. You like the team you're playing against just stop and go, yeah, you can walk right past me, and then I'll let you go all that way there, and then you can pass the ball. Then I'll press you once you've released it. It doesn't happen. But I absolutely agree that there are a lot of players that unfortunately just are not good enough. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Okay, so has he played 4-2-3-1 against Villa? Has he now bent to the players in regards to it's a formation that they used to play in? Or do you think he's going to change and he's going to go back to breaking these players' hearts, playing them in a formation that they probably don't understand?
Well, he has to. His priority now, Mr. B, is because, like I said, he's running out of time, running out of games. His priority now is he has to get the results. So it makes sense, and this is what's the clever part of it is from Ralph Rangnick's point of view. He's looking at this and thinking, okay, look, it's harder than I thought it was going to be. They ain't picking it up as quick as I thought they would. I've got some players who are just not good enough in balancing the squad. Right, let's go simple. Let's make this puzzle a little bit simpler for them to read and understand. So yeah, maybe and I hope that is exactly what he is doing, because that will yield, in my opinion, it will yield more points for us, which we desperately need, especially in the Premier League.
Yeah, we need points. We also need players in and out of the club talk. This is another situation.
Of course
we've got players who blatantly want to leave. We've got players who we don't know if they want to leave or paper talk. But one thing we do know is Donny van der Beek's not happy at the moment. He wants to leave. He's told Ralph that he wants to leave because he wants to play in the World Cup, which you could understand for a player of his ability. He was a regular starter a year and a half ago before he came to us. Donny van der Beek. Yeah.
Can I just say, Mr. B, you say about this is one thing that puzzles me. Is so we all know he was a great player at Leipzig. It was Leipzig.
No, Ajax.
However, Ajax, right? We don't know yet. We still don't know if he is a great player in the Premier League. He hasn't played enough for us to make that to come to that conclusion. He just hasn't played enough games. Sorry, 1 second. I'll let Ivor and Spice take over.
Yeah. Go let your cat in.
Yeah, he left his cat outside, didn't he? Went for a smoke, left the cat outside, and he went straight in.
No, she's gone now. It's fine. She's gone.
It's cold out there. How can you treat your cat like that?
No. Honestly, no. She's loved. Listen, she's like my furry baby. She's like my furry baby. But, yeah. I'll just finish what I was saying quickly. With Donny van der Beek, we don't know if he's good enough for the Premier League because we haven't seen enough of him. And whether you agree with that, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what you'll say now. Yeah,
that is true, because what I'll say now, you probably might not like. I am the villain here, guys. I am the guy that comes in like WWE wrestler, the heel characters, this the hometown, this your team, you boo me, and that kind of stuff. But I keep it real. In my opinion of Donny van der Beek, yes, we understand that he's not happy. Definitely not happy after being promised by the previous regime that we want you to stay, we'll give you game time, which never really happened. So it must say something. I was screaming free Donny van der Beek for a very long time. Then I sat down, I sat back, and I thought, there must be a reason why Ollie's not taking him in. And then when Carrick took over for a couple of games, he only played him the one time. And then Rangnick, who we thought would be a pro Donny van der Beek, based on his system and the way he likes to play, you think that McFred would be dead. But he also decided not to use him. And what I've seen from Donny van der Beek so far, and we need to start asking ourselves some serious questions, because I've seen him. I've seen the player, when he comes on, the players don't really look for him, which is true. I understand that he's lacking match fitness, but physically, although he's put some weight on, still, he gets dislodged off the ball easily. He doesn't have the pedigree in terms of having the stamina to go up and down in that period, because the Premier League is very intense. And I reckon McTominay and Fred are probably putting him on the floor in training. Yes, we hear such great things about, he's training well, but I believe he's probably not training well or doing enough or have the actual qualities to play in the Premier League. He can play in Europe because the pace in Europe and the strengths requirement in Europe is quite different, but and the intensity is very different. It's calm and relaxing and slow pace. In the Premier League, it's high intensity. So I feel like from seeing Donny van de Beek so far, he doesn't have it. He's a great footballer, don't get me wrong, but you need something else to be in the Premier League. You need to be strong, quick as well, and you need to have that stamina and be able to cover a lot of ground. And he might not have it if he's not showing it in training against what we've seen in midfield, McFred, and we've all talked about it because they tried everything else about Van der Beek included. You know, we've seen McTominay with Matic, we've seen a Fred with Matic, Fred with Pogba, McTominay with Pogba, but we've never seen Van der Beek. There's something he's doing in training that we don't see, that they don't like. That's what we need to ask ourselves that question. There's something he's doing that they don't like.
I agree. I agree with you, mate. Honestly, I really do, because like you say, otherwise, why would you have an asset that has come with such a great pedigree and not use him? And not give him a chance to sort of get to grips with the Premier League. And it is a strange one. But in terms of his requirements and what he's saying about wanting to leave, you know what? Yeah, let him if it's a loan, which the rumours of the loans going to make like Newcastle and Dortmund. You know, for us, would it be sensible for us to let him go on loan? I would suggest maybe yes, it would. Sensible to let him go on loan. Don't sell him. Let him go on loan and go and get used to the Premier League and see if he can actually, whatever these things are that are lacking from our coach's eyes, if he can bring these parts of his game, into play and improve upon at a Newcastle or a Dortmund. But for us, obviously, the better of those two would probably be Newcastle because it's Premier League. You know what I mean? He would get a lot.
You want him to develop in the Premier League so he can come back, which makes sense.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. So from my point of view, would I be worried about letting him go to Newcastle on a loan? No, not at all. Let him go. Let the kid go. Let him try and fight his place because he deserves that. To go and play for his country in the World Cup. I would love to see him playing for Holland in a World Cup. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's rumours. We don't know how, if we're actually going to let him leave or what. I don't know. I
mean, the thing is with me, what I don't understand about Man United as a club, if he tells him no, which it sounds like he's going to do, and he's not going to hashtag free Donny, I think there's going to be more issues at the club. Right now, this is the last chance for these players who aren't playing, who aren't getting any game time. And as Ivorian, you said earlier on, he's had chances. He's been at the club. He's had Carrick, who's been watching him. He's had Ollie, and now he's had Ralph. So if McTominay and Fred are putting him on his arse in training, he's not good enough for Man United. But hold him,
you have to ask yourself this question. There's been 3 different managers and they still haven't chosen Donny. There must be something wrong.
I don't know what it is. I'll be honest.
Look. Do you know what, Mr. B? Do you remember when we first got him and he wasn't getting the game time early on, and we were talking about it, and I think we was on with Jay Motti actually at the time. We were talking about it, and we were talking about maybe Donny van der Beek's metronome ticks faster than the rest of the team. In other words, maybe Donny is just a little bit too advanced in his position for the rest of the teams. They have to catch up. That's what the hope was.
Yeah.
That's what turned out that maybe that's not the case.
I know that's I know that's a Monday's thinking, but he's got no career. Even if he gets loaned out, I think the loan would be to suit the player and not Man United. We're buying a player for X amount of money. We're going to loan him out, really knowing that we don't want him. Maybe the deal can't be done to get him sold, but it looks like Donny's not going again. So it's going to be another 2 weeks of talking about free Donny. And he's still going to be here, God bless him.
But I can't understand all that. I mean, for me, I don't get it. It makes no sense. I mean, just let him go. If we know we're not going to use him and he's not in Ralph's plans, squad player, blah blah, on the bench, let him go. It makes no sense to me. Newcastle are no threat to us right now. They're fighting for survival. They ain't going to be no threat to us for another maybe two. I would say 2 to 3 seasons. That's when they're going to start to be a real threat to everybody. But as it stands right now, they ain't a threat. So why not? Let him go there and enjoy his football, and add to his game, and then come back to us at the end of the season, even if it's just a season loan.
You want him back. Season loan means that we extend his contract by another year or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what United do. You know how we do it. You know how we're always extending contracts for players that we don't really want to keep. We look at Bailly. That was done for value. Obviously, we could have let him go then and got him out of the squad and started again. Lingard did the same thing with Lingard. He went all the way down, and I'll go back as far as the big oak tree Fellaini, who had us over a barrel. We re-signed him after his contract had finished, and we all believed that, he shouldn't have been there. So, look, let's be honest. I'm not sure Donny's going to get any more game time with us, regardless of what he does for the rest of the season. I'll be honest. I think he's done as our club. The motivation and the lack of game time, I think, is going to manifest in a way where we're going to. Donny's been very quiet. He's held his. What's the word I'm looking for?
Composure.
Yeah, he's held his composure. He hasn't kicked off and acted like a bitch. But I have a feeling after these 2 weeks, when he doesn't go, regardless of anywhere he goes from us, he's going to play. I believe whoever takes him is going to start him and give him that chance to be dropped. I don't think Man United gave him the chance to be dropped. I think they just bought him and they still stuck with the same, and they're trying to make him force his way into a situation that obviously right now he's not going to get into.
Let me ask you this question. Would Donny van de Beek step into Liverpool squad or Manchester City's or Chelsea's squad?
Ivorian, that's to you.
At this present moment, no. Liverpool maybe, because they don't have that creative outlet playmakers. They tend to have a lot of number 6s compared to having a number 8 or genuine number 10. So possibly can get into there. And Man City definitely no. This is really hard to get. We can even ask, will Pogba get into these teams now? Look at the way he's playing. It's probably questionable as well. So with Donny, definitely no. Chelsea got a very good midfielder as well, and I don't think he will. We haven't seen enough to actually just answer these questions and say, yeah. I can't say yeah, because I haven't seen enough.
That's it. That's the problem we've got, isn't it? Because, like I said, we can't make the conclusion about Donny van de Beek because we're just not seeing enough game time from him, consistent game time, to show us that he's learning and he's learning from mistakes or reading the game better and getting used to the physicality of it. In terms of what it is. This is what it is with youth players when it comes to the physicality of the game and experience. When you're experienced in the physicality of a game, of a league, you know how to deal with it better. You know what to expect. When you don't know what to expect, you get into this mindset of thinking you get comfortable in a way of playing, having a bit of time to take a touch of the ball and then look for a little layoff. No, you can't. That doesn't happen in the Premier League because someone's right behind you, ready to, bang, I'm getting that ball off you. And if you do that more than once in a game, the manager's going to be saying, well, sorry, but no.
But the unfair thing is that he never really got the opportunity when he should have at certain games where, especially last season when he was bought, there were games that Oli himself could have threw him in. And so for him to actually understand and get the Premier League rhythm, he's still at that situation where he still hasn't got the rhythm. And I know OMONDI's hating what I'm saying right now because I read his comment early on about X, Y, Z, rhythm, X. But it's the truth though. It's like you need to sometimes in certain leagues you need to adjust and adapt to that rhythm because again, in another league where you can take 5 touches, a different league you can only take 2 touches before someone gets you. And he came from Holland. You can probably afford to take 5 or up to 10 touches. I don't know. I don't watch Eredivisie. But here, 1 or 2 touches is the limit. 3 if you're at most, if you're lucky. But before you get
shield the ball
clamped,
well,
if you can shield the ball. But it's just it's unfair. He should have gotten that so he can grasp the rhythm in the Premier League. But unfortunately, he didn't get that. So again, it must go back to training. What's he doing? That's not right. That he doesn't get this first team, and we acknowledge that. Donny van de Beek's a baller. Is the type of midfielder that you want in your midfield to be starting. But it's just never happened for him. I don't know why. No one can give us a straight answer. The only way we can get our answer is by paying money to go to Carrington and see exactly for our own eyes. Then we'll understand. No, it's the manager. Oh, no. It's definitely the player. We'll know.
Yeah. That's the thing. You're right though in what you're saying. No two words about it. And I think it probably is a case of that he's not quite adjusted yet. He's not adjusted to what has been required. So it's not. And again, when it comes to Ralph right now, needing it, get the points and get the results. Now is not the time for him to start trusting Donny, is it? Let's have it right. He can't. What he knows he can trust is McFred, because they're the go-to, aren't they? They seem to get the results, especially since Ranić's come in. We've lost 1 game, so in his eyes, it's like, this is what. I mean, I should imagine we're not going to be too surprised. Obviously, I know McTominay's suspended in it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's a no-no.
You won't play. We've been in that position where McTominay's been injured, Fred has been injured. They're both injured. He still ignores we've seen that, guys. So it makes no difference. But yes, Mr. B, take back to you. Sorry.
No, I said I'm of the opinion now that Donny needs to be freed for his. And I know a lot of people talk about mental health. I'm of the older generation. I've only learned about mental health in the last 10 years, and it seems to be from people, the generation below me, whether that's a mental or not, or whether that's just the way that time has gone and life has gone. It is what it is. But then they're going to be talking about his mental health. So that's probably not going to help his situation. What's not going to help this situation is the fact that I know my boss is on the phone, Mr. Solo, telling me that it's a wrap for the night, guys.
Yeah.
It's a wrap for the night. So talk. Please say your goodbyes, my guy, and let us know where we can find you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah, well, listen, thanks. Big up to everybody who's been in the chat and supporting. As always, it's very much appreciated. Thank you to Ivory and Spice for gracing us with his presence once more. And tomorrow, we'll be on at 5 o'clock. Me and Mr. B with the watch along, which is going to be exciting and quite sweary. So listen, it is going to be sweary. So bring your earmuffs or a beep machine, because I think it's going to be quite sweary.
Ivorian.
Yes, guys. Yes, big up to everyone that's tuned in, watch. Encourage you guys to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. But yes, of course, you'll see me again. Should be back next week, or the week after. This is a Friday night takeaway, and I like to sit back and talk a lot of shit and make jokes. So it suits me as well. But you can always find me on Red United TV. If you enjoy my character and humor, subscribe to Red United TV and follow the official Instagram of Red United TV, which is Red United TV 1. And follow me on Twitter, it's Ivorian_Spice.
Right. You know where you can find me. So I'm not even going to say where you can find me. There's no need. But talk. Tomorrow, we will be on at 5 o'clock for this Villa massacre that we're going to do to them tomorrow. I'm expecting, you know what? I'm not going to say my Friday night score because it's obviously very intoxicated. So I'll go back to the score that I wasn't sure about. I think it's going to be a 1-1 tomorrow. I'm hoping for more. Guys, in the chat, appreciated. I know you don't have to be here on a Friday. You could be doing something else. You're not. You're with the agenda. And for that, we thank you. And with that, it is goodbye.
Ciao.